All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling a big one. Maybe one of the biggest, most detailed, and, yeah, most polarizing UFO cases ever. The story of Edward Billy Meier.
So let me just throw this out there. What if? What if just one guy held the secrets to, well, everything? To our past, to our future? What if he was chosen as a messenger by beings from the stars, beings who claimed they were our actual ancestors? What would a message like that even sound like? And maybe the bigger question is, would anyone even listen? And that right there, that's the absolute heart of the Billy Meier case. So we're going to unpack this whole thing. We're talking cosmic warnings, unbelievable journeys through space and time, and a mission that, if it's true, affects every single one of us. Okay, so where do you even start with a story this wild? Well, it starts with the man himself. And let me tell you, his life was just not normal, not by a long shot. And this was all before any spaceships supposedly showed up. I mean, look at this. This is not your average childhood. His early life was just one trial after another. He sees a UFO with his dad when he's just 5 years old. Then on his 7th birthday, he starts hearing this instructional voice. From there, he goes on this insane 12-year trek around the world, working dozens of odd jobs. And I mean odd jobs, from smuggler to veterinarian. He goes through incredible hardship, even loses his arm in a bus accident. And all of this happens before the main contact events even kick off. According to the story, none of this was an accident. It was all training. And this quote, this really tells you everything you need to know about how he saw himself. He wasn't some victim of fate. He saw himself as a missionary, someone with a job to do. That sense of purpose, that belief that he was on a mission, that's the fuel for this entire incredible story. So all that preparation, all those years of hardship, they were leading up to this, the main event, the actual physical face-to-face contacts. After everything he'd been through, the messengers finally actually showed up. Now, this is a really important detail because it wasn't just one group of ETs. First, there was this being named Asket. And get this, she was supposedly from a completely different reality, a parallel universe. She was his guide during his youth. Then, after her mission was done, the contact shifted to a new group led by a being named Semjase. And they claimed to be from the Pleiades, right here in our own universe. But the real bombshell? They said they were our ancient forefathers. Right, the Dale universe. To really wrap your head around this, the story describes it as a kind of mirror to our reality, like an antimatter universe existing on a totally different plane. The claim is that the two universes are linked. If one goes, the other goes too. So we're not just talking about a trip from another star system here. This was a visit from a whole other dimension. So you gotta ask, right? Why go to all this trouble? Why spend decades preparing one guy? Why travel across entire universes? Well, according to the source, it was all for a mission with stakes so high they involved every single person on this planet. And this mission, it had 3 parts, and man was it controversial. Number 1, expose organized religions as, essentially, ancient systems of control. Number 2, show that politics is just an extension of that, another way to enslave people. And number 3, the most urgent part, warn humanity that we are on a path to total self-destruction. And these weren't vague, be good to each other warnings. No, they were incredibly specific, like this one. In the mid-70s, Meier was supposedly told about how things like bromine gas were destroying the ozone layer. This was years before that was a major scientific headline. It's this kind of alleged advanced knowledge that's a huge part of what makes this case so compelling for some people. But it wasn't just about what's coming. The warnings were also about what we've forgotten. The story goes that our ancient ancestors on Earth wiped themselves out in a massive atomic war. And the evidence? Supposedly it's still out there, in places like Death Valley, where you can find the melted glass-like remains of ancient cities, a silent reminder of what happens when we get it wrong. But Meier didn't just sit in a room and take notes. Oh no. He claimed he was taken along for the ride. We're talking journeys that completely shatter our ideas of physics. He supposedly took tours of Earth's past, our future, and, well, the entire cosmos. So how did they do it? The term used is a hyperleap. It's basically a way of just turning off space and time. Think about that. It allowed their ships to jump across insane cosmic distances, like almost instantly.
A trip that should take millions of years, they could do it in a few hours.
And the places he went, just mind-blowing. The notes describe flying under the thick, crushing cloud layer of Venus to see the surface. He says he visited a whole other galaxy called Nepon. He even journeyed to the Eye of God Nebula, which, according to the story, is the original, destroyed homeworld of our most ancient ancestors, way back before they ever went to the Pleiades or Cape Here.
Here's a number for you, 23 billion. That's the supposed population of just one planet they visited, a world called a cart. It was so overcrowded and its resources so depleted that its people travel all the way to Earth just to gather plants and seeds for food. It's one of those small, crazy details in this massive cosmic tapestry that just sticks with you. Okay, so you can probably guess that a guy running around making claims like this isn't exactly going to have an easy go of it. And you'd be right. The last part of this story is all about the fallout, the endless debate, the personal hardship, and a legacy that is messy, to say the least.
And here's the thing. Apparently, he was warned about this from day one. Asket supposedly told him, hey, this mission isn't going to make you famous or rich. It's going to bring you hatred. Your life will be in danger. He was even told he'd be an outcast among other UFO believers. A pretty specific and dark prophecy.
And, well, that warning came true. The records are full of his struggles. These contacts were happening all the time, day and night. It apparently cost him his job as a night watchman, and his family was plunged into serious poverty. This wasn't some glamorous gig. The story paints it as a crushing burden.
So where does that leave us? How do you even begin to process all this? It really comes down to this core conflict. In one corner, you have this mountain of what looks like evidence, all from before the digital age, before Photoshop. Hundreds of photos, films, weird sound recordings, even metal samples that were analyzed, plus dozens of eyewitnesses. But in the other corner, you have very serious claims of fraud, of him using models and trick photography. You have total denial from the scientific community, and a lot of the best evidence has a funny way of getting lost, stolen, or destroyed. It's a huge puzzle.
So in the end, the Billy Meier case just leaves you hanging with this massive question. What are we looking at here? Is this guy a prophet, sharing the most important cosmic truth we could ever hear? Is he one of the most brilliant, elaborate hoaxers of all time? Or is the real answer something else entirely, something far stranger than either of those options? I can't tell you what to think. That part is up to you.